Hey guys, what's going on? Here we are in Daniel chapter 4, lecture 1, moving on from the events of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and the fiery furnace. Why the crown? Well, because this is our last opportunity to hang out with Nebuchadnezzar. This is the culmination of his spiritual journey. This is the culmination of the influence of Daniel on Nebuchadnezzar. And so this chapter is our last chance to hang out with Nebuchadnezzar as king of Babylon. All right. Let's see. The events of this chapter are approximately 30 years after chapter 2, which means we're about 25 to 30 years after the events of the fiery furnace of chapter 3. At this point, Nebuchadnezzar has been king of Babylon for about 30 to 35 years. And just kind of by way of connecting the dots, Daniel then would be in his mid to late 40s. So he's kind of in the same phase of life that I'm in currently right now. Anyway, as it relates to Daniel chapter 4, the main issue that we're dealing with in this chapter is the issue of pride, and it comes through with Nebuchadnezzar and his leadership. In this chapter, he has another dream. You remember in chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream? Well, here we are in chapter 4, he has another dream. And like we said, he's kind of towards the end of his time, and he gets a little bit concerned about this dream that he has going on. We mentioned that the issue, or the main theme of this chapter, is the issue of pride. We've been talking about idolatry throughout this book, and in this chapter, we see how God humbles the proud. C.S. Lewis, in his book Mere Christianity, acknowledges pride as the great sin. And so, I think there's some personal application points that we can put here, but we're going to take a look at Nebuchadnezzar's life first and see how we can do that. All right. So as we get into the book, or as we get into the chapter, all right, I want to ask you a question. Can you remember anything that happened significantly in your life over the last 12 months, 1 year? What is the date today? Not the specific date, but what is the month? Right? What is the month? Now, can you go back 12 months from now and think of something that's happened to you over the course of 12 months? If you could you tell a story about it? Yeah? Okay, good. Because that's basically the setup for Daniel chapter 4. In verses 1 through 3, Daniel is hearing Nebuchadnezzar's story. He's listening to Nebuchadnezzar basically tell the events of what happened to him over the last 12 months. And it's a pretty significant story, and it's a fun one. It's one of my favorites as we go through the book of Daniel. And so we'll get into that now. All right?